guys, it's Jake from Guzzlers. The Jeep Cherokee has always been a popular option since its inception in 1984. In fact, just last year, Jeep sold over 230,000 of these things. I've owned this Jeep Cherokee Limited for just over a year now, and we're going to give it a 1-year review. So guys, you might have noticed my partner in crime is missing today, Cole, but don't worry, he's going to be here for next week's video where we're going to be filming a special BMW, so make sure you're subscribed for that.
Starting at just under $30,000, the new Jeep Cherokee Limited is on the higher end of the Cherokee lineup. The base level Cherokee Sport starts at just over $25,000. Step it up a level to the Latitude Plus and the cost goes to around $26,000. The Limited, like this one, slips in right above that. Above the Limited trim is the High Altitude package, coming in at $34,000. Next is the off-road capable Trailhawk, which will set you back a bit over $33,000. Finally, for you high rollers, the Cherokee Overland comes in at just over $36,000. Now let's get into this 2017 Jeep Cherokee Limited and my thoughts after 1 year of
So we're
ownership.
going to start with the exterior of the Cherokee. Of small SUVs, I think this is one of the best looking ones out there. We have the traditional 7-slot grille, but you can see it's kind of curved, and I really like how it indents sort of in towards the vehicle. We have our Jeep badge, of course. Now as we move over here, we come to my one gripe with this vehicle, or well, my biggest, the headlights. As you come see the headlights here, there's this black trim around them, and I find that very unattractive. I would have rather they just made it body color or chromed it out as they did with the rest of the vehicle. I don't like this flat black plastic. But so far, pretty good. I like the front. I think it still says Jeep. It's not too angular. A big trend right now is angles and hexagons, and this avoided that so far. As we move around to the side, we have these rims here. These are 18-inch rims. I really can't comment on them. I don't love them or hate them. I would have preferred some of the 5-spoke black Alpine wheels that they have, but these are fine. These come with the limited trim in this model here. I prefer the newer ones though. As we get up, we continue to move around the side of the vehicle. The window line has this nice chrome trim, which I think looks very nice on the limited trim. We also have our roof racks up here. These are wonderful because this being a small SUV only fits 5 people. So if you need to bring more than 5, up here. We continue around the vehicle. You can see we have some nice wheel travel room right here in case you do want to take this thing off-roading. This one only has a 4-cylinder, so I would not try that. As we come around to the back, we have our rear 3/4, which is where I think this SUV looks its best. I think from this back corner, it just looks incredible. I can't really tell you why, but I just think it looks great. Coming around to the back, we have, of course, a windshield wiper since this is an SUV. These rear tail lights were redesigned for the 2019 model. Right now, they're somewhat of a tail light, reverse light combination. I find them quite attractive. Along with this reverse camera, I feel like they kind of just grafted it on here. The new one looks slightly better in my opinion, along with our prominently displayed Jeep badge. Overall, a great looking exterior for what I consider to be a pretty great SUV. So it comes time to talk about the engine of the car. In most cars, we'd be fiddling around looking for the hatch. Fun little life hack for Jeep owners. Look in between these 2 slots under the P, right there. Up goes the hood, held up by the little hydraulic arms right here, which is quite nice. Here you'll have your 2.4-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine. There is a 6-cylinder model available, however, this is what comes standard. Overall, my comments about the engine, it makes about 180 horsepower. It's nothing too exciting. It does the job. It does make for some hairy situations when you're trying to pass. Now, in the back of the Cherokee, it does lag behind some of its competitors in terms of rear storage space. Part of this is because of that off-road capability. For that ground clearance, for that 4-wheel drive system, you're going to be giving up some room back here. As you can see, it's very shallow back here. You can pick this up, and that gives you a little room. You also have a spare tire underneath this. Now, putting it down, you can come see something else back here that the Cherokee does very well, and that is storage cubbies. The Cherokee has a lot of unique storage spaces we'll show you throughout this video. Back here you have 2, one right here and one right here. Now, if you wanted to hide something super secret, you can actually remove these storage cubbies, revealing yet another super secret storage cubby that you're actually not supposed to use. And no one's gonna know about unless they've seen this video. Now the seats in the Cherokee are very comfortable. You have these black leather seats. The one there is power, this one is manual adjustment. Now, back to the storage cubbies I mentioned earlier. The passenger seat has a very cool storage cubby. You pull this little fabric loop and it opens this very neat little area. You can store a laptop in here. It's a very useful, cool, clever idea. Overall, the seats are very comfortable. You can easily take a long road trip in them. My only complaint would be the headrests lean a little forward and they're not adjustable forward and back. So sometimes that can get a little bit annoying if you like to rest your head against them, but I personally don't, so I have no problem with it. So the interior of the Cherokee Limited is quite well appointed. We'll start here with the driver's area. You have your typical FCA switchgear. You have your heated leather steering wheel, which is quite nice. Your gauge cluster, which we'll go into more detail soon. You have your last generation FCA control panel and your infotainment, all your good usual stuff. You know how those work. Here you have physical buttons for climate and music. I really like this. The only thing I wish they include physical buttons for what they did not is the heated seats. It's very annoying to get in and have to wait for the system to boot up before you can start those heated seats. Moving down here, you can see we have power outlets for just about everything you would need, including an SD card. Also the aux port, if you want that. You have your select terrain right here. This does have the four-wheel drive system. This tells the car what you're doing and it can help it make better decisions off-road, help the computer. Now we move here to our transmission lever. I really like how FCA transmission levers feel, especially in the Jeep and Dodge products. It's kind of weird, I know, but they just feel really good compared to other brands. We do have manual shiftability, up for down, down for up. And we do have a reverse camera, as you can see. We do have a electronic e-brake right here. And then we do have your typical 2-level storage area in the center console. You can fit, it's average size, you can fit wherever you need in there. Other cool details include some of this lighting right here on the cups and along with right here around your power area. Overall, it's a very well laid out interior. We have a leather wrapped steering wheel that is heated. In between you can see that colored display that works nicely with those two gauges. I really like how they merged it with the gauges. It's not just a square in the middle like some companies do. You can tell they really put some time into designing it. In that middle gauge, it can be controlled from the steering wheel. We have our speed. We have vehicle info. This is actually quite a fun gauge. You can see your battery voltage, tire pressure, just sort of trivial things that can be good to know about the car, like the oil life. I find actually particularly useful. If we move on, we'll find our fuel economy. This car is supposed to get around 20 mpg combined. As you can see, I get much less than that at 13.8 average. Trip info, normal stuff, audio if you're playing music through Bluetooth or whatever, and stored messages. Now, moving over to the main display, you can see we have the last generation of Jeep's infotainment system. This does not come with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which FCA recently added into the new version of this vehicle. However, I find it very useful. We have our radio, our media, if you want to connect your phone. Controls, this is where you control your heated seats, heated wheel, mirror dimmer, all of that. Apps, if you have the Wi-Fi hotspot here enabled and such, you can control that. You can also drag any of these apps down onto this bottom bar. Climate, self-explanatory. We have dual zone automatic climate control. One feature I like is that you can turn the screen off. Means you don't have to look at it, don't have to think about it. Kind of a nice feature. And you have your phone set up. The rear of the Jeep Cherokee has plenty of room for 2 adults. I wouldn't try to fit 3 people back here, but it certainly can fit 2. We have our nice leather seats, which do fold down if you want to fit more in the front. You have a rear household outlet along with 2 air vents back here, along with speakers, window controls, and your typical array of amenities for the rear passengers. If we come back here, we can fold down this to give us a nice little armrest and 2 cup holders.
So overall verdict, great car. I totally recommend it, and while there are a few annoying things like the older infotainment system and those headlights, it's a great car and it does everything I need. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, next week we're going to have that super cool BMW video I'm super excited about. Remember, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for all the support.